Hi, I'm Benji Hardy. I've got your Arkansas Times News headlines for today, Tuesday, June 23rd. Leading the news, the tide seems to be turning on the contentious racist symbol that is the Confederate flag. Walmart has announced it will remove all merchandise from its stores that contain the Confederate flag in the wake of the racially motivated massacre last week at a Charleston, South Carolina church. Yesterday, South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley said that the flag, which flies on the grounds of the Capitol there in her state, should be taken down. But Walmart's announcement comes as a real surprise, and it's especially to be applauded because the store wasn't under any particular pressure to act on this issue. No other major retailer has made a similar decision up until then, but now others are following suit, including Amazon.com and Sears, which also owns Kmart stores. Like it or not, the flag is a symbol that's tied to a long racist history in the South. Not everybody who embraces the flag is necessarily racist, but as a symbol, it certainly stands for the worst parts of our history, chapters that shouldn't be celebrated by anybody. So kudos to Walmart for doing that. Moving on, in a letter yesterday, Governor Asa Hutchinson directed Education Commissioner Johnny Key to withdraw the state of Arkansas from PARCC, the multi-state consortium that Arkansas used for its standardized tests this last academic year. Little background on this story, which has been unfolding all month. Hutchinson previously recommended on June 8th that the state switch from PARCC to the ACT Aspire for its standardized testing needs. ACT Aspire is another assessment that's made by the makers of the familiar ACT college entrance exam. However, then, later that week, on June 11th, the State Board of Education threw a wrench into the governor's plans by rejecting the proposed contract with ACT. The implicit decision there was no, we'd be sticking with PARCC. The State Board at the time cited concerns about process and the quality of the ACT Aspire, which is a relatively unknown exam. However, yesterday, Hutchinson cited the MOU by which Arkansas originally joined the PARCC consortium. That MOU gives the governors of its member states the power to renew participation in the consortium, and Hutchinson essentially said, I decline to renew participation. He certainly has the power to do that, but really this changes very little in the underlying question of what happens the coming academic year. The governor can stop the contract with PARCC. He can't force the state board to sign a new contract with ACT. The state board doesn't want to rush into a new contract with ACT, and the governor won't allow the state to stick with PARCC. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. We now have a situation in which the state has no contract at all for standardized testing heading into the 2015-16 school year. Something has to be done. We will see which direction we go. The drama continues over Dennis Milligan, the state treasurer. Just seems to have a way of attracting that drama. In his first few months in office, the Republican has faced scrutiny for deleting emails, engaging in questionable campaign activity in 2014, and hiring a cousin of his illegally. Now he may have to appear in court to address a defamation lawsuit filed by a former employee against Milligan's chief of staff, Jim Harris. Milligan was added to that suit for refusing to hold a name-clearing hearing for the filed employee, David Singer, to which Singer says he was entitled under law. Earlier, this matter seemed like it was going to be resolved via mediation, but that mediation has evidently failed. An attorney for Singer said last night that he has now filed a request for a jury trial. Quick mention of a bit of local news for parents in Little Rock School District. The district is going to be adding 300 new pre-K slots for 4-year-olds. That's thanks to a federal grant to expand preschool programs that the state of Arkansas qualified for, even though the district faces some major financial questions in the future as it loses tens of millions of dollars in annual desegregation money. It's still able to add these 15 new pre-K classrooms for 4-year-olds. Parents will need to register for those new slots this week, however. Parents can register at the Woodruff Early Childhood Center at 3010 West 7th Street. And check our website, the Arkansas Times blog, or on Little Rock School District website for more details about eligibility requirements and how to register. Finally today, I recommend that you read David Kuhn's cover story on James Weaver, which came out last week. Weaver is an inmate at Tucker Maximum Security Unit here in Arkansas. He was sentenced to life without parole for capital murder in a 1990 slaying in which he never laid a hand on the victim. He helped dispose of the body after his roommate committed murder. And for that crime, he was committed to life without the possibility of parole. Dennis Young, former parole board member and former state legislator, plays a crucial role in the story. During his time on the parole board, he came across Weaver's case and became convinced that it's a travesty of justice. So now he's leading a campaign to try to convince the governor to commute Weaver's sentence. That's the only chance he has to ever emerge from prison. But the governor thus far has indicated he's not particularly interested in acting on the case. We shall see again. That's it for today. Be back tomorrow.